Welcome to SportsTime's Analyst segment. I'm Michael Gilbert, here with Matt and Quinn, our analysts for tonight's show. Well, guys, let's get right into it and talk NFL. The Detroit Lions are sitting atop of the NFC North. The Packers and Bears and Vikings only have 2 wins. Are they going to be the favorites to win the division this year?
I think that the switch from Schwartz to Caldwell at head coach was just what the Lions needed. The last 3 years, they've had the pieces in place. They have the offense. They have Stafford, Calvin Johnson, of course, Golden Tate. They have runners all around. And I think the switch to head coach is just what they needed. They're 3-1. They had a big win over the Packers already. They have 2-0 in the division. And you got Matt Stafford with a 65% completion percentage right now. As long as he keeps throwing, minimalizes the turnover, the defense plays well.
All right, Matt, let me stop you right there. I agree with what you're saying for the most part, that the Lions have started out well. Their defense is playing well. But to me, the Packers are still the team to beat in the NFC North. First, the offensive line is improving. They played a great game. The offense was basically flawless against Chicago. They still have some guy named Aaron Rodgers, who's a pretty good quarterback, I believe the best in the league. And for the Packers, their defense is improving. They were opportunistic against the Bears. And the Lions, they don't have that hard of a schedule, but they always seem like the kind of team that usually blows an easy game or two. You know, that's just how the Lions have been lately, you know, for the past decade plus. So I think the Packers are still the favorite here in the NFC North.
I mean, I'm just looking at the lack of schedule for the Lions, though, you know what I mean? They got, outside the divisional games, the only real tough battle is going to be at Atlanta and at Arizona. Other than that, it looks like easy sailing. They got 5 wins at least.
That's true. I hear what you're saying, but, you know, they play, you know, the Dolphins, for example, at home. That just seems like a typical Lions game that they always blow. You know, last year they were, I believe, 7-4 and lost their last 5 to some pretty mediocre teams. So I just don't trust the Lions quite yet.
Well, definitely a division that showcases a lot of quarterbacks, Jay Cutler, Matt Stafford, and Aaron Rodgers, guys who can really get it to their receivers. So we come back to the question that NFL fans always need to know. Are the Cowboys for real, guys? Is it their year?
I would say no. They're not totally for real. Obviously, their offense is playing great. They have probably the best offensive line in the league, and DeMarco Murray has been really unstoppable. He's been the best running back in the league so far. But though the Cowboys are 3-1, I would say that their defense is ultimately going to be what breaks them. They're kind of a patched together unit, you know, kind of stuck together by glue and scotch tape, if you will. And a lot of people are saying they'll be the worst defense in the league, and they're not so far. They've been average, you know, 20th around there, which is still subpar, and I don't think they can sustain it. You know, they kind of have replacement level players, fill-in parts, and I think they'll break down over the season, you know, with the inevitable injuries. I think the Cowboys' defense will ultimately be their breaking point. They could make the playoffs, but I don't see them going any further than the first round.
I'm not going to go ahead and say they're for real yet, but I'm also going to look at the fact that they are 3-1. They had big wins over San Fran. They had a big win over the Saints. I know the Saints haven't looked that great this year, but still, you got 2 quality wins right there. And you were talking about the offensive line. DeMarco Murray has 327 yards before contact this year. Look at that push by line. You can't fake that kind of push, you know? If they keep giving him the ball, they get decently early leads. As long as Romo doesn't have turnovers, they can keep feeding Murray. I mean, Murray has literally been a beast this year. I have him in fantasy. I literally cannot complain with that because I have him and he is unstoppable. So you keep pounding Murray the ball. Romo doesn't become typical Romo. He plays okay. I think they'll be okay. The defense, it'll be what it is. But at the end of the day, I think the Cowboys can make the playoffs, especially in a weak NFC East.
Yeah, with DeMarco Murray, sets up the passing game, and Dez Bryant looks really good catching the ball. So
he does.
Tony Romo has a lot of great options.
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
2 teams who look good when the season started right now, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Arizona Cardinals. Guys, are they scary good, or are they just kind of pretenders right now?
I'm going to look at Arizona, and I'm going to say scary good. Okay, literally they have Drew Stanton as their starting quarterback right now for the last 2 games. Drew Stanton, like, who the hell is Drew Stanton? You don't even know.
Yeah.
So with Palmer out, and they're still winning football games. They're still undefeated. They have Andre Ellington, who can run the ball. He's a bruiser. The defenses have been amazing the last 2 years. I mean, last year they were 10-6 in the NFC West, which was boasted by Rams, Seahawks, and 49ers, who are literally, they're all amazing defense. And they hung right with them. 10-6, they didn't get in the playoffs. That's just robbery right there. So I think they do have the options. They got reliable veterans like Larry Fitzgerald, and then they also have upcoming guys like Michael Floyd on the outside. And Drew Stanton, I mean, he's obviously not a superstar quarterback, but he's getting that job done. If he minimizes turnovers, run the ball, play good D, that's the key to success for Arizona.
I agree with you there. The Cardinals' defense is phenomenal. You know, one of the top 2 or 3 units in the league. But I think the Bengals are the better team than the Cardinals. He'll throw out some advanced stats for you. They're first in defensive DVOA and 5th in offensive DVOA, which is not just, you know, stats or yards and points. It kind of takes all that into account. And to me, they've been more impressive this year than the Cardinals. The Cardinals got a little lucky against the Chargers, and obviously their offense isn't that good. But for me, the Bengals, so far they've been the best team in the league. Obviously, I'm not going to say they're scary good because, you know, it seems like the NFL is pretty wide parity, but, you know, the defense is playing great. Andy Dalton's actually playing pretty well. A.J. Green is just a total beast at wide receiver. Giovanni Bernard is doing great things in his second year at running back. If these two teams were to play each other, I would take Cincinnati over Arizona.
Yeah, and the Bengals seem to make up crazy plays where they throw it right back to Andy Dalton for a touchdown. So Bengals are a really good team right now. So awesome. We're going to take a break here at the analyst desk, but we'll be right back with some college football later.